this cool and this small, and I hope you like it. Truth is, if you don't like it, it's okay. And if you do like it, that's awesome. But the only thing I ever wanted from this movie was two things. I wanted a conversation to start at the end of the movie. And so if you're feeling like you've been provoked, or you're feeling offended, or you're feeling like uncomfortable, that's awesome. Hopefully you can find someone who is moved and is really excited about it. And hopefully you guys can talk for a while. That's really all I've ever wanted. And then, most importantly, I've only wanted to bring the work of what I think is one of the greatest authors we've ever had, to a bigger medium. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. It's really important because this movie is a passion project for me. It was a really, really long time coming, but at the same time, I will admit now, I hate to break to you, but it will only be a fraction of what he does as an author. So I'm admitting that now, and I hope it's an open doorway to plenty of new readers of his, hopefully. So I'm gonna open it up for a couple questions, and then I'm gonna get right to the movie. So please ask me about the movie and like what scenes you liked, and what about that last part, and why did you choose that shot? That'll be really fun, and don't ask those questions. That would be really good. Any questions? Good night, everybody. Yeah.
All right. I'll stand. Yeah.
Thank you. Finally, someone showing respect.
Yeah, I'd just like you to continue talking about your interaction with Foster Wallace's work, with this particular work, with other works. Did anything from other works come into this? What are your favorites, maybe? Any of the studies?
Do you have 2 hours? I'll be in town for 2 days. I think I have to tend to agree that David Foster Wallace is a very difficult author to adapt. However, one caveat is the one I found, which is this book in particular. Thank you again for the cameras. I was feeling like I wasn't lit properly. 150 people were like, maybe a camera will help? I have a flash on my camera. We don't have a spotlight here, but now we do. The guys being interviewed and conversing in the way that they do in this book lends itself immediately to being performed in some way. And really, the cool thing, and I hope this is what everybody takes from it, is, again, first-time director, probably not going to be the greatest directed movie you've ever seen. Might be. But it's just so much fun to work with the material. It's a non-linear film. It's definitely a film experience. It's got all sorts of things that you might not be used to as far as films. That's not a compliment to me. It's a compliment to the material. As far as him, he's, like I said, he's the best. He's the thing that was most nerve-wracking about doing this film is that I know how many people love him. I know how many people loved him before me. Way before me. I remember being at school being like, David who? People were like, shoot him. And then I started reading all his stuff, and some of it took a while, and some of it didn't, and this was one of the books that I responded to immediately. But I will end this whole thing by saying the 2 other things that I say go out and read tomorrow. Literally, this is your assignment. I'll be reading papers on Monday. Is the supposedly fun thing I'll never do again is the funniest thing I've ever read on paper. That includes The Office. And then 2, his speech to the Kenyan class was probably one of the most moving things I've ever read, and everybody who has blood in their veins should read it. Anyone else? Yeah. Love your gloves, by the way.
Thank you.
Yep.
As a first-time director, what helped you most in learning how to direct? Was it watching other directors or interacting with actors or being an actor yourself?
Man, that's a good question. I thought it would be all like fun and games. That's a really good question. I did. I mean, I think in the most complimentary way I can say, I stole everything. I mean, I have no idea how to be a director. I had never directed anything in my life, so I highly recommend directing out of ignorance. It's fantastic. When you don't know what's supposed to happen on an average day, you can make whatever you want. And when people are like, you're losing money, and this actor's not here on time, I'm like, but that's part of the course, right? And people are like, no, it's not, and we're in trouble. And then when you get to the end of the movie, and you think that it went great, and someone points out all the potholes that could have been horrible, you're like, well, I never want to do that again. So I don't know that I'll ever direct again. It's not because I didn't have a good time. It's because this was such a good experience. I also have to immediately say that I had one of the best crews ever. In one man in particular, John Bailey, who shot little films like Ordinary People and As Good as It Gets. And thing called an Oscar. He was at my side every single time. So I was really like a cheerleader with no idea what he was doing. I did wear the outfit. And I was like really excited every day. And I'd be like, perfect, we got it, move on. He's like, stop. We need a medium shot and a close-up. And I was like, that's boring, let's keep going. And so we worked really well together. He probably will never talk to me again. A couple more, and then I want to hopefully let you see the movie. Yeah. Yes. No, the empty chair behind you. Existential. Yeah.
It's not a serious question.
Elijah behind you. It's an in-joke. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Did Buster Wallace's sudden death affect any of the way like that you made the film, or like any of that's shown through like by tone wise?
Actually, we finished the movie before he passed, unfortunately. We were actually in sound edit, and we were about. I think I locked picture. Boy, when I found out about it, I think I locked picture 3 days later. So it was pretty brutal, because then you're sort of left with this thing that you were so excited about and wanted to put out there for his fans and his fans alone, and really celebrate this author. And now he was gone. It sort of added, it adds this new pressure.